Hello everyone, my name is Megan and welcome to my first attempt at a booktube video. Happy May 24 weekend to all of my fellow Canadians out there, and as a lot of you probably agree with me, the May 24 weekend tends to be a really great jump off into summer. Sometimes it's freezing, but it still always feels like that first summer weekend. So I thought I would come to you today with my summer TBR. Now, as you can maybe see from this, there are a lot of books on here. Now, I know that I probably won't read many of them, and there'll probably be a lot of additions onto it, but I wanted a list so that if I'm stuck as to what to read, I can go to it, and I can hopefully work through some of the books that I've been hoping to read for a while now. Since most of these books are ones that I do not currently own, but will intend on getting from the library, I don't have pictures for all of them, or I don't have a book to hold up. So bear with me, but I'm going to try and make this list as quick as possible with very little description. If you want a little bit more description, I'm also going to be posting a blog post, so you can find out that link down in the bottom. So without further ado, here we go. The first book that I have on my list is Crimson Bound by Rosamund Hodge. I just finished reading Cruel Beauty, which I listened to as an audiobook, which I loved, and I will try and do a book wrap up on that one and post that in the next little bit as well. So this is the second book, and this one is based on Little Red Riding Hood, where the first one was based on Beauty and the Beast. So, and then this next book on my list is The Little Paris Bookstore, which I don't know a ton about, but I think it basically looks like about a bookseller who considers himself an apothecary of books and distributes books to heal people, which sounds like a really neat concept. I'm also looking to read The Bridge from Me to You. I know very little about this except for that I think it's a contemporary YA romance novel, and I always like to include a few romance novels on my summer TBR in case I'm looking for that lighter read. I'm also looking to read Flunked by Jen Kalanita, which I have wanted to read for a while now. It's the first book in a series of twisted fairy tales. I love the twisted fairy tale stories, and this one is about, I think, a reform school for fairy tale characters, which just sounds really fascinating. The next book on my list is The Menagerie by, I think it's Tui T. Sutherland, which I actually don't remember why it's on my list. I probably found it as a recommendation from a booktuber, and I'm looking forward to reading that one as well. The next book is Meeting the English by Kate Clancy, which I think I either heard about from booktube or I found on my library's website, which I find a really useful tool for finding my next book. The next book is What the Fly Saw by Frankie Y. Bailey, which is definitely one that I found out about on my library's website. It's a mystery novel, and the cover is also really cool. It's kind of a fly on the wall thing. The next one is another one that I can't remember why it got on my TBR, but it's been there for a while now. It's called New Uses for Old Boyfriends. There's a really cool picture on the front of a girl who's wearing a tie, and I think it'll be a good summer read. And back on the track of the fairy tale retellings is Cinder by Marissa Meyer. I am a little bit late to the Marissa Meyer fairy tale retellings because I haven't quite decided if I'd wanted to read them. So I'm thinking though that since this is a genre I really love, I'm going to give it a shot. Next on the list is one I'll probably listen to on audiobook, and that's called The Boyfriend List by E. Lockhart. It looks kind of like a light, fun read. I'm a little bit mixed on this because part of it looks like it's something I might not enjoy, but I'm going to give it a try. And then another one, which is actually a book that came out a while back and I started reading it and then got distracted and stopped, is S by J.J. Abrams, which some of you may know is the one that's got a lot of little bits in it, extra parts. It's got writing in the margins. It's just a really cool concept, so I'm going to give that one a shot again. Next is one called Tales from Abroad, which is a travel type book based on, I think it's a mother and daughter who go traveling together, but I'm not 100% sure. But again, it looks like a really nice summer read. And then another Beauty and the Beast retelling on my list is The Beast Within, which I got for Christmas. And I've heard kind of mixed reviews about it, but I love pretty much everything Beauty and the Beast, so I'm excited to give that one a read. Moving on to the second column on my list. Yes, we have gone through one entire column already. So moving on to the second column is a third book in the series, The Book of Life by DEBORAH HARKNESS. I know this one's been out for a while. I read the first 2 books forever ago and really just need to read this final book in the trilogy. So I'm hoping to finish off that series this summer. The next book is another mystery book called This Case is Going to Kill Me by Philippa Bornikova. I'm not sure if I pronounced that one right, but it looks like a mystery suspense, and I've been really wanting to find something a little bit more suspensey lately, so that's another one. The next 2 books are novellas in the Viral series by Kathy Reichs and Brennan Reichs, I believe it is. So the first one is Shift, the second one is Swipe. They fall in between book 2 and 3 and books 3 and 4. I love the world. I love the characters in that series, so I'm really excited to read these 2 novellas. The next book is another summer romancy type book, which I am shocked I haven't yet read. It's been on my reading list for quite some time, and it's Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell. I've heard excellent things about it, and I'm really looking forward to adding that one to my list. Next is one that is a collection of essays, kind of, I believe, called Why Grizzly Bears Should Wear Underpants by Matthew Inman, and it is all articles and stuff from the Oatmeal, which is the satire website. So that one just looks like a lot of fun. Looks like it'll be really good to read in between other things. I'll probably take that one on my trip out east at the beginning of July. Next is another book that I have started and then put down because I got distracted with other things, or I think I got really busy, and that is The Long Earth by Terry Pratchett and Stephen Baxter. It's a kind of sci-fi fantasy series, which initially I wasn't 100% sure I was sold on in the first chapter, and then as I got more into it, I got really excited about it. I really love the world. I love the world building that's in it, and I'm really excited to get back into that one. Especially since I also own the second book in the series, which I'm hoping if I can finish this one, I'll either get into the second or I'll read the second one this fall. The next book on my series I was drawn to by the title, which has a lighthouse on it and looks really cool, and I'm going out east to Nova Scotia this summer and hoping to see a lot of lighthouses, so that was a big draw for me, and it is called The Secret Keepers by Trenton Lee Stewart. Next on the list is one that I don't know if I'll get to this summer because I'm planning on taking it out of the library, and I am currently on a wait list, which may or may not come up in the course of the summer, and that is American Gods by Neil Gaiman. There is also a chance that this is one I can borrow from a friend, so hopefully I will get to read that one. The next 2 books on my list are actually not listed. I don't know if you can see that there. But they are with the little Canadian flags, and I had 2 books there, which I then removed because I am trying to intentionally read Canadian authors this year and next year, hopefully the next few years. It is Canada's 150th birthday, and that is a really good reminder that I have wanted to make a conscious effort to read more Canadian authors. So there will be 2 books that I fill in there hopefully this summer. The next book is one that I have just recently got to download on audiobook from the library, and it is called The Shining Girls. I have heard that it is really good. I've heard that it's really a lot of suspense and that it's kind of really terrifying. I've heard mixed reviews about the narrator and the choice of narrator, so I'm really interested in checking that out, and I'm excited to start listening to that later this weekend or into next week. The second to last, we are almost there, is Bras and Broomsticks by Sarah Mlynewski. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right at all, and I apologize. But this one is one that I have actually considered reading for a while. It's been on my Kindle reading list for a while, and I've always kind of put it off because I couldn't decide if it was one I liked. And then a booktuber I recently started following has mentioned, as one of her favorite series. And so I figured I might as well just jump in and give it a shot. It looks really fun. It looks lighthearted. I kind of like that idea of that modern day magic in our world sort of story. So I'm really excited for that. I think it'll be a good summer read as well. Nice and light for those lazy summer afternoons. The final book on my list is another Beauty and the Beast retelling, which I've just received. And that one is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. Again, this is another series that I am very late to. It's been one I've planned to read for a while. So I'm very excited to read that one, especially now that I just finished reading Cruel Beauty. I am just all about the fairy tale retellings. So I hope you enjoyed that. That is my summer TBR. I am hoping to read at least 20 books this summer, most of which will probably be off this list, though knowing me, a lot of them will be impulse reads that I pick up last minute. Share with me your favorite reads that you're looking to read this summer down in the bottom, and I'm really excited to get to know you all on this new channel. Happy reading!